Hi, everybody. It's Phil, the Big Geek with Geek Omelet. And if you tuned in the last couple of days, you saw the very first video in my series that I call the Microphone Blacklist. And it is a series of videos that I'm putting together by brand of microphones that are mass counterfeited, mass copied. And I'm talking about really good looking copies. And if you don't really know what you're doing, or you're buying from a brand that doesn't help you to easily determine if a microphone is actually a legitimate microphone, then I think you should avoid purchasing these, for sure used, and even in some cases new, but mainly we're talking about used here. Anyway, so this is a follow-up to the first video in the series, the Shure, and this is actually an addition to, because after I published that video that I had missed certain microphones that needed to be added to that list. And so let's get into Shure Blacklist. Do not buy used, for sure. Pun intended. Addendum. All right, so let's go to the very first microphone on the list. This is a discontinued microphone. This is a model PG81. Now, this has been replaced by another model called the PG81A or PGA81. It looks very similar, whether it's used or new. This microphone, it's not current from Shure. So certainly if they're selling it brand new, like they're a first run retailer, then this is not a microphone, you don't want to buy it. All right, so the second mic on the Shure Addendum Blacklist, do not buy used, is this model. This is the PGA52. It's a cardioid dynamic kick drum microphone. And like the other mics that I talked about on the list, it is not the fact that it's copied, it's that it is almost copied in full. For example, let me show you packaging here. You can see these, and they update the packaging. This is the packaging from a fake Shure SM7B. This microphone, from the inside to the warning tape, they even copy and make very realistic looking brochures. If you don't know what the inside, the instruction manuals are supposed to look like, in some cases they're exact copies, in other cases they're very legitimate looking copies. And lest you think that, I'm over exaggerating, these are coming out of multiple factories around the world. And they are constantly innovating. So, for example, the box I showed you is the relatively new style but this is the latest, most recent style that Shure uses on their packaging. But right before this came out, this was the particular look. Now, these microphones have been updated. This is an old fake microphone. You go online now, you can get the new packaging that reflects the previous package that I just put up there, with the current design language. So these counterfeiters are not messing around, folks. They are copying every element except the quality of the microphone and the performance of the microphone. You are not getting a Shure microphone when you buy one of these. It may look like one. It is not going to operate like not one. It's not going to sound like one. All right, so we said the PGA52. Well, there's another mic that I neglected to put on the list, and that's the Beta 52. This is another kick drum microphone. It retails for $199, and yeah, I would not buy this microphone used. Don't do it. All right, the next microphone on the don't buy list is a more expensive, but not by a lot. And that's the SM86. This is another microphone I neglected to mention in my video yesterday. The SM86 is the legitimate one, is a well thought of, well performing, good sounding microphone. But I wouldn't buy one of these used. Again, not unless you follow my criteria, which is you can verify that the serial number for the microphone you're getting is valid. Now, here's the thing. Shure, on most of their microphones, they put the serial numbers on the boxes. So, hey, it's possible they could have a legitimate serial number, and sell you a fake microphone. I'm sorry, I just wouldn't take the risk and buy one of these. I just wouldn't. All right, let's look at the next one and the last one on the list, and that is the KSM-9. The KSM-9 is an expensive handheld dynamic microphone, $769. Who wouldn't want to get one of these for, I don't know. Let's take a look and see. Let's see, KSM-9. Hey, who wouldn't want to get one of these instead of paying $676.72 for? Why wouldn't you want to get one for $57 or $31 or $25? Hell, even $259. This is a Guitar Center. You got to wonder. Which brings up the other point. Certainly, Guitar Center will take it back, but if the microphone doesn't have a serial number on it and they don't have the box, at least if you buy it from Guitar Center, they have a 45-day return policy. So maybe you have time to engage with Shure to see if it's a real microphone or not. But, I'm not even sure how much due diligence a retailer can do, that can expect their people to do to determine if it's real. So for that reason, I'm going to say that the KSM-9 is on the do not buy used list. And it's a shame because it's an expensive microphone. But, it's not so obvious. It's not always AliExpress selling it for $50, $30. Sometimes you can see these fake microphones on eBay, on Mercari, on these reselling websites for, 20% off. They're a good deal, but they're not an insane deal. But it could be fake. And you have very little way of knowing if you don't have a serial number and you don't have the time to confirm with the manufacturer that it's real. And honestly, you have to have the willingness to be able to want to do that. All right, so I'm going to make this quick. That's it. There's nothing more here. These are just some additional Shure microphones that I put on the blacklist. So this is Phil, the Big Geek. Be careful, be smart, and go create.